Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show that covers all things marketing. The GSMC Marketing News Podcast gives you the latest marketing news, from what major businesses have planned for the coming year to the newest trends in advertising, from podcasts, digital and streaming, to the old standbys of radio, television, and billboards. Whether you're a marketing agent or a business trying to expand your brand, you've come to the right place. The GSMC Marketing News Podcast starts now.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the GSMC Marketing Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I'm your host, Mackenzie, and on tonight's episode, we are talking about home decor marketing. Now, whether or not you actually own a business that sells home decor, or if you are in that marketing industry, do not worry, this podcast episode will still give you some benefits, although I do have to say, if we have any listeners who own a business where you sell home decor, or you're in that industry at all, then I would love to hear from you and your thoughts on this episode. I did a lot of research looking into some stats and facts about the industry that I think would be helpful if you run one of those businesses or if you are looking to get into that field. We are also going to talk about some different strategies that they use in the home decor marketing world that will work for your business, whether you sell soap, sheets, underwear, boxes, towels with chickens on them. It doesn't matter. These strategies will definitely help you out. So all of that and more on tonight's episode of the GSMC Marketing Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. Again, I am your host, Mackenzie, and tonight is episode 60 of our podcast. If you have been listening from episode 1, you might be noticing a slight difference in my mic quality. I actually got a new mic for my birthday, and I really loved using it. I'm hoping it really boost up the quality of our podcast. If you notice a difference, if you like the difference, please let us know in the review down below or reach out through social media. We love hearing your feedback, whether it's on the content of the episode or the equipment we are using. Now, obviously, you might be wondering why I'm not recording this in a studio. Well, if you are listening to this any other time other than the time it was actually recorded, then you may not know currently we are in quarantine and I am having to record these episodes from the comfort of my bedroom. I've done episodes in my bathroom, I've done them in the stairwells, and most importantly, I have recorded episodes with content focusing on the COVID-19 pandemic that is currently hitting the world right now. It's hitting all of us. It's hitting us emotionally, our mental health, our physical health, and our businesses. So we did an entire episode dedicated to COVID-19 that I think if your business is struggling with any of the marketing going on right now, or you're looking for a way to keep yourself busy, you're looking for a way to push yourself, you're looking for a way to comfort yourself during this time, then definitely go listen to some of those episodes. I believe we actually have 4 different episodes dedicated to COVID-19, so definitely go check those out. As well, if you are looking for something to do during this pandemic, I highly recommend checking out some of the other podcasts that we have here at the GSMC Podcast Network, because honestly, guys, that's what I've been doing during this quarantine season. It's been really great getting to listen to other hosts, what they're talking about, and also just see what other content is out there, because the GSMC Podcast Network certainly does have a lot of content. So definitely hop over there and check it out once you're finished listening to this one. Okay, so let's jump right into today's podcast, where we are going to be talking about what is new in the marketing world. Our first story is that Google's employees will likely work remotely through the end of the year. Google CEO Sundar Pichai said employees who needed to work in the office would be allowed to return in June or July, with enhanced safety measures in place. Google had originally told its employees that the work-from-home protocols would only last until June 1st. However, companies who have been in quarantine since March are now saying that it may last longer, one of which is actually Facebook. Facebook has also said it would allow most of its employees to work remotely until the end of 2020. According to media reports, the company had previously announced it was canceling large events through June 2021 due to the coronavirus pandemic. So there are 2 very big companies that clearly had a very bright idea about what might be happening in June and or July, as did many other companies. Of course, no one really saw that it would last this long. It's definitely been a shock. It's definitely been an adjustment. However, it is interesting to see the protocols that are going in place now and how these companies will be affected in the next couple of months and into 2021. As crazy as that might sound, big companies like Facebook and like Google do have to start planning for that now. Is your company currently planning for that? Is this something that you are considering? Let me know in the review down below or reach out through social media. Our second news story is that the Disney-exclusive themed Star Wars Coke bottles have shown up in an Alabama grocery store. Coke bottles that were originally exclusively sold for the Star Wars Galaxy Edge at Disneyland Disney Hollywood Studios have popped up in an unauthorized remote outpost in Alabama during the coronavirus closures of the Disney theme parks around the globe. A pallet of Galaxy's Edge exclusive Coca-Cola products had been spotted in a small family-owned grocery store in Hartford, Alabama, according to a few social media posts. The souvenir Coke bottles at the Alabama grocery store appeared to be expired, according to WD News Today. I just found this story very interesting because obviously you have to wonder where all that Disney Parks product was going if the parks are closed and where these exclusive one-of-a-kind things were ending up, because obviously things like that may expire, they may go bad. I don't know what the best buy sell date is for Coca-Cola, but it definitely isn't like an eternity, like they can't hold those in storage forever. So I think it'll be a fun little scavenger hunt over the next couple of months, seeing if we can spot any other Disneyland products across the United States. If you see any, make sure to take the GSMC Marketing Podcast just out of pure curiosity. I would absolutely love to see what you are finding. However, isn't it also a little sad? I mean, it is a fun scavenger hunt, but it's also like the saddest scavenger hunt in the entire world, because it's sort of like, oh, this thing that used to belong to the Disney parks can no longer be there. Like, are we going to see Mickey Mouse eventually working in a store in Alabama? Like, I hope not, but let's keep our eye out for him, just in case. Our third news story is that Disney has given a detailed tour of how the Shanghai park will operate once it reopens. The Walt Disney Park on Saturday gave journalists a detailed tour of the Shanghai Disney Park and how it will operate when it reopens to the public on Monday, following the months of being shuttered due to the coronavirus pandemic. During the preparation period for the reopening, what we've done is really look at the different measures to deliver a safe and healthy environment with the park. Andrew Balstein, Senior VP of Operations of the Shanghai Park, said to reporters who led the tour, which started at the area guests will wait to have their temperature checked. A separate instructional videos for guests shows the temperature will not be taken individually, but with fever screening systems that display a person's temperature as they walk past. So this story is really great because, one, it's great to see something like this reopening. It definitely gives us a little bit of hope for the future and how things will be progressing from here on. However, it is very interesting to see how it will be progressing and how long measures like the temperature checks will be in place for. It's great, though, that Disney, especially the Shanghai Park, all of the parks actually, will be giving journalists a tour first. That way the public has an idea of what will be going on when they show up to the parks, rather than being totally blindsided that their temperature is going to be checked. I think this is a preventative measure for the public who will be going to Disney parks once they open back up. What do you think of this story? What do you think of Disney parks, one, using journalists to sort of give that information out to the public before it becomes just public knowledge from going to the park, first-hand knowledge? And also, what do you think of the preventative measures that the Shanghai Park is taking to ensure that the virus does not spread throughout the park again? Let me know in the review down below or reach out through social media. Okay, everyone, we are going to go ahead and take a short break from the podcast, but when we come back, I have some stats and facts for you about the home decor marketing world, and I can't wait to share them with you. So stay tuned, because you are listening to the GSMC Marketing Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I'm your host, Mackenzie Jakewish, and I'll be right back.
You really can't underestimate the importance of having the right creative work for your brand or your product. Whether it's a logo, a website, a book cover, For an ad campaign, you really need a quality design to make that big difference pop and deliver your overall engagement and success in a competitive market. That's where Design Crowd comes in. Design Crowd has over 750,000 designers from Sydney to San Francisco ready to help you with awesome creative ideas. They make crowdsourcing work for you. So if you need a logo or you're working on your creative branding, you can go to designcrowd.com and post a brief describing the design you need. And then within about 2 to 7 days, you'll receive up to over 100 different designs from designers around the world. Then you pick the best design and approve payment to the designer. So you're only paying for the design that you want. It takes a lot of the guesswork out of freelancing and out of crowdsourcing. And you don't have to be a huge company like Harvard Business School to use Design Crowd, although they have used it as well. You can start a project on Design Crowd for as little as $99. And if you go right now to designcrowd.com/health and wellness or enter the promo code health and wellness on their website, then our health and wellness listeners will receive up to $150 off of your design project. That's designcrowd.com/health and wellness or entering that promo code health and wellness.
Golden State Media Concepts Technology Podcast covers everything tech. The hottest mobile phones, tablets, games. We review it, rate it, test it. Whether you're Microsoft or Apple, Android or iPhone, we'll give it to you again and again, black and white. The Golden State Media Concepts Technology Podcast.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the GSMC Marketing Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I'm your host, Mackenzie Jakewish, and on tonight's episode of the podcast, we are talking about some stats and facts when it comes to the home decor marketing world. Now, some of you might be saying, hey, Jakewish, I don't work in the home decor marketing field, nor do I work in the home decor industry. I maybe own 2 planters. I run a soap industry. Well, I'm here to tell you that this episode can help you whether you sell furniture or not. Because again, home decor, we're not just talking about furniture, guys. We're talking about planters. We're talking about towels. We're talking about all of the above, basically anything you can find in the fun section of Target. So this one, maybe this does fit into your business because if you sell sheets, if you sell soaps, if you sell mugs, girl, that is home decor, so you might want to pay attention. But 2, I promise that all of these strategies we'll talk about in the next part of the podcast, they can work for any type of business you have. And the idea is to simply just take inspiration from the home decor world and then utilize it in your own marketing, which I totally think you can do with a few helpful tweaks and tips from me. So let's jump right into the stats and facts that I have about the home decor industry. These stats and facts are designed to give you an idea about what the demographic is for these industries and for this field, what shops are the most popular, who's going to them, why are they going to them, and which demographics are targeted, and how much money is really being spent in this field. So, number 1, in the U.S., shoppers spent $122 billion on home decor in 2016. It was expected to generate more than $409 billion in sales by 2019. The global home decor market could reach $66.4 billion by 2020. Nearly 7 in 10 millennials are handling home improvement projects by themselves using DIY techniques. Target and IKEA are tied for the first place for favorite home decor stores in the United States. Pottery Barn is in 3rd place with 20% of the American population picking that over Target and IKEA. Only 1% of the population prefers Home Goods to the other home decor stores. Americans will spend an average of $165 each on home decorating needs from New Year's to spring. Worldwide home decor sales are on track to grow 4.2% year over year for a 5-period year from 2015 to 2020. In 2017, Pinterest reported that there were 11 billion home decor pins on the platform and 2.3 billion home decor searches and saves per year. Pinterest alone reaches 40% of the people who have made home furnishing purchases within the last 6 months. In September 2018, Pinterest had 250 million monthly active users, but unlike Instagram and Facebook, 93% of pinners, people who use Pinterest, use the platform to plan out or make an actual purchase, whereas the users on Facebook and Instagram don't ever really purchase anything on those platforms. 44% of homeowners between the ages of 18 and 44 and 29% of homeowners over the age of 45 rely on social networks like Pinterest and Instagram to get inspiration for design projects. 28% of homeowners have made at least one purchase for their home in the last 12 months based on what they saw in a friend's social media feed. Boomers and older Gen Xers get the majority of their design information and inspiration from magazines and televisions and shows like HGTV and This Old House for their design ideas. 6% of American population goes to West Elm for the most home decor needs. 12% of people will only spend $1 to $50 on home decor for the months of January to May. So again, when we compare that to the amount of people that were spending hundreds of dollars, it is shocking to find that there are anybody that isn't spending the hundreds and hundreds of dollars that it is between those months. So really, what have we learned from these stats and facts? It's the fact that social media clearly has taken over the industry, because although boomers and Gen Xers still rely on shows such as HGTV and This Old House, the new generation that is coming up, although it is highly known that a lot of millennials and Gen Zs can't quite buy homes, that doesn't mean they can't buy home decor. And they definitely still can use sites such as Pinterest and Instagram to get ideas for that one day they might own a home. I myself have several Pinterest boards dedicated to my future home, so I can definitely speak as a millennial. That is something we do. We do dream about that. So if you're looking to reach that generation, perhaps consider using Pinterest and Instagram as your marketing needs. However, if you are trying to target that baby boomer and Gen X generation, then you do need to move to things like newspapers and magazines and TV shows, such as, again, the HGTV shows that are like, let's remodel your bathroom on a budget of $100. I don't know why. I really like those shows too. No judgment on those shows. We're also learning about how many people actually physically go to the store rather than just buying through apps such as Pinterest. These stats are really important when it comes to knowing how important your retail space actually is when it comes to this industry. Because for a really great example, actually, if you run a clothing brand, a lot of people no longer care about your actual retail space, whereas they do care about your online presence. However, it seems that in this home decor season, a lot of people still do care about your actual retail space. They want to go and check out your home decor in person. It is also very interesting to learn that Target was like one of the top ones for all of America, because I do fully understand that they have some awesome furniture at Target. I personally have bought plenty of stuff from Target for my home decor, and I'm not disappointed. I'm not upset. I have definitely also used IKEA. Let me know, question of the podcast, what your favorite store is to shop for home decor. Maybe it's a small local shop we should be checking out right now. Maybe you own a small local shop. Maybe it's one of the big boys that we've never considered before. So let me know in the review down below, or again, reach out through social media. Guys, I cannot stress how active we actually are on social media, because we're over there all the time, starting conversations with you, giving you advice on your marketing, trying to come up with ideas for the podcast. So really, let's take this offline and onto the Twitter. I know that is still online, and I did just say the Twitter. Forgive me for being lame. But let's go on Twitter and let's continue this conversation. I want to hear your questions. I want to hear your ideas. So make sure you are following the GSMC Marketing Podcast on all of our social media platforms. Okay, everyone, we are going to go ahead and take a short break from the podcast, but when we come back, I have some marketing strategies for you that, again, they are taken from the home decor world, but again, they will work for any type of product you are selling. So stay tuned because you are listening to the GSMC Marketing Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I'm your host, Mackenzie Jaquesh, and I'll be right back.
You really can't underestimate the importance of having the right creative work for your brand or your product. Whether it's a logo, a website, a book cover, or an ad campaign, you really need a quality design to make that big difference pop and deliver your overall engagement and success in a competitive market. That's where Design Crowd comes in. Design Crowd has over 750,000 designers from Sydney to San Francisco ready to help you with awesome creative ideas. They make crowdsourcing work for you. So if you need a logo or you're working on your creative branding, you can go to designcrowd.com and post a brief describing the design you need. And then within about 2 to 7 days, you'll receive up to over 100 different designs from designers around the world. Then you pick the best design and approve payment to the designer. So you're only paying for the design that you want. It takes a lot of the guesswork out of freelancing and out of crowdsourcing. And you don't have to be a huge company like Harvard Business School to use Design Crowd, although they have used it as well. You can start a project on Design Crowd for as little as $99. And if you go right now to designcrowd.com/health and wellness or enter the promo code health and wellness on their website, then our health and wellness listeners will receive up to $150 off of your design project. That's designcrowd.com/health and wellness or entering that promo code health and wellness.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. Hey! The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be. Visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the GSMC Marketing Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I'm your host, Mackenzie Jaquesh, and on tonight's episode of the GSMC Marketing Podcast, we are talking about home decor. We are talking about that industry that I think we all love to dream about. It's probably as successful as the wedding industry for a very similar idea. I think we all love imagining a future where it is no big deal to spend $20 on a throw pillow because it really just brings the room together. I think we all love imagining the future where you can have a bowl of lemons in your kitchen because it adds a pop of color to your kitchen. And gosh, I want to live in that world. I want to be in that world every single day. But unfortunately, for a lot of millennials, we are stuck in the world where we are buying our home decor from Target, from Walmart, and from those smaller stores. But we are also really utilizing social media. So if you work in those industries, if you work in the field of home decor, this podcast is definitely for you. However, if you do not, if you sell soap, if you sell hair conditioner, if you sell cars, if you sell clothing, don't worry. These strategies are still totally meant for you and can totally be used in your own marketing. So don't be afraid. Let's all dip our toes into this pool together and really have some fun with it. So our first strategy is to be the expert, and this is true within every field. In the home decor field, it's really important that when a new shopper is coming in, because let's face it, a majority of their audience is going to be new shoppers because, you buy one couch every 5 years, if that, maybe every 10 years, right? So new shoppers are coming in and they are looking for advice. Now, maybe they're even coming in online, virtually, or they're calling your store, or they're going into your store. Either way, you need to be the voice that says, hey, this is the couch you should buy. This is the couch that is going to last you. If you're a university student, you want a couch that you'll be able to move in and out of multiple dorms and multiple different apartments. But if you're an older couple who is looking for a couch that they can just keep in their home, that their grandkids can play on, then again, you are going to have to be the expert and tell them which couch is better. Now, you're going to have to go ahead and ask questions such as price and color, but don't ask them those hard-hitting questions that you already know the answer to. That is why you are the expert. That is why they are going to you. You need to tell them which couch is going to be the easiest to move in and out of dorms. You need to tell them which couch is the sturdiest for their grandchildren. You need to tell them which one is stain resistant for their grandchildren. So you really need to make yourself the expert in the field, and there are lots of different ways to do that. You can do it through social media by posting helpful tips. You can do it by having meetings on social media saying, hey, if you want to learn more about home decor and how to furnish your apartment properly or feng shui, then join us on our Instagram Live where we're going to tell you how to do that. Establish yourself in the community as an expert. That way people feel comfortable turning to you with their needs. Another way to do that, which is strategy number 2, is blog posts. Blog posts are so important in the home decor world. People really want to hear about interesting ways you have solved home decor problems, or interesting ways you have used home decor, or how you modeled your house, how you remodeled your house, how you originally modeled your house in the 80s, and how some of that style has come back. People really love reading that stuff. Videos, we'll talk about videos in a little bit, but videos and blogs don't really work in the home decor world because it's kind of hard to talk about a couch when you're just sitting on a couch. But if you're describing how styles have changed and you're showing photos and you're talking about it through the blog post and explaining it clearly, then people really want to engage with that long form of entertainment and engagement. Which brings us to strategy number 3, and just an important tip to remember in the home decor world, but photos are actually more important than videos in this specific industry. Now, in a lot of other industries, this is obviously not the case, so do not take this word as Bible. But in this industry, photos are more important than videos because, again, a video can show you a couch, but it'll take you 3 minutes to see the whole couch. One photo shows you the couch in one photo. Quick, easy, and done. People like photos, people like good photos, so make it aesthetically pleasing. Do not just have your couch against a white wall. Add a flamingo planter, add a nice rug underneath, just to really, bring it all together. So try out some of those tips of just really making sure your photos stand out and speak for themselves. Number 4, although they aren't as important, you cannot forget about videos. Again, like I said, making yourself an expert in the field might include doing an Instagram Live, or perhaps a weekly video that you produce of telling people how to remodel their homes, how to get the most out of a little bit of space, how to do an entire house if you have so much space but little furniture. You could totally come up with enough ideas to do a different video every week. Just make sure that you aren't overusing videos because, again, they don't give us the same amount of information as a photo does when it comes to the actual furniture. Number 5, make the customer experience unique. Now, this is something that reigns true in every single industry. But because every home is unique and every homeowner is unique, you need to make sure that their customer experience is unique as well. They aren't just buying a couch that you have 20 different couches. They are buying their couch that they are moving into their home. They are going to have a life on it. They are going to cuddle up with their loved ones. They are going to cry on that couch. They are going to sleep on that couch when they're fighting with their partner. You are selling them a piece of their home. And to you, that might not be a big deal, but to them it is, which is why making the customer experience unique will really help you close that sale because they are going to feel like they are unique and the product you are selling them is unique as well. Number 6, try gated content. So for those of you that don't know, gated content is when we'll give you a little bit of this blog post, we'll maybe give you 2 paragraphs, but then you are going to have to pay to see the rest. This really, really shines in the home decor world because it is very easy to hook people in the first 2 blog posts, but not give them all the information they need until the 3rd. So gated content can be a really great way to rope people into your community and into your content. Number 7, repurpose existing content. In the same way that people can repurpose a throw pillow or repurpose a pair of sheets or repurpose old cups by like smashing them together and making like a beautiful art photo. I don't know. You've seen it on Pinterest. You know what I'm talking about. Repurpose your content because although your old viewers may have seen the same photo once or twice, your new viewers have not. And again, your old viewers who have seen it, maybe they want to see it again. Maybe they want to learn more about that product. So do not be afraid to repurpose existing content. Number 8, use FOMO. For those of you that don't know, FOMO is fear of missing out, and my God, does it work in the retail industry. People hate the idea that that one couch they really, really love, isn't going to be there forever. It's ending soon. The March Madness sale is ending soon. The February Lovers event is ending soon. The New Year's event is ending soon. Spring showers on showers is ending soon. You never know how you can just hook people into that FOMO. You're not going to hook everyone, but you are going to hook a few very, very important people in each different season. It's important to remember, though, the people you hooked in January, you won't hook in February and vice versa. You're catching big groups of people, but just know it's not great for return on customer investment. But in the retail industry, that's not really a big concern. Number 9, create a sense of urgency. A sense of urgency, again, using those sales, using FOMO, telling people that it's not going to last forever, that they need to get it now, get it before the season ends, will really push people to make a decision. Because when it comes to home decor, people can hum and haw for days, weeks, and months. Creating a sense of urgency using FOMO and using your gated content and all of the other strategies we have talked about will really help you push that sale. Finally, number 10, don't be afraid of social media. Now, if you work in the retail industry or anyone similar or any industry, I always recommend this. You may not think that social media is for you. You may not see a point for it, but trust me, there is. Your audience is out there. They are exploring social media, trying to find answers, and if you can be there, if you can be the expert, if you have the blog posts, if you're doing photos and videos and you're making that customer experience unique, you're doing FOMO and repurposing the content, everything we talked about today, then they are going to turn to you to make that purchase. Okay, everyone, that is it for today's episode of the GSMC Marketing Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I'm your host, Mackenzie, and I'll see you next time.
You've been listening to the GSMC Marketing News Podcast, part of the GSMC Podcast Network. You can find this show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcast on SoundCloud, Stitcher, and Google Play. Just type in GSMC to any podcast app, and you'll find all of the shows from the GSMC Podcast Network. From movies to music, from sports to entertainment, from business news to weird news, you'll find it all on the GSMC Podcast Network. You can also follow us on Twitter and Facebook. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's program.